G'day everybody, just a quick update. I'm just at the bus stop in Nelson. I came into Nelson yesterday, got here just after midday, managed to get some accommodation, which was tough. Had a good look around the town, found all the outdoor shops, what supplies they've got, because I've got to do the resupply for YL Pass. But the good news is my pack did arrive at John's son's place yesterday afternoon, so I'm just jumping on the bus to go out to grab that. I'll do my resupply today. Fortunately, there's no shuttle, it appears, into St Arnaud tomorrow, so I'm going to have to find another way to get in there. Might have to spend the money and get a taxi. Either way, that means there's a chance I can get back into St Arnaud tomorrow and get walking again. So the pack's really only held me up for 1 or 2 days, which isn't too bad after all. So we'll push on, we'll get this pack, get this resupply done, and I'm really looking forward to walking again tomorrow. Don't like this hanging around towns. Well, g'day everybody. So I'm just heading into Nelson now to grab the shuttle, and unfortunately I did have to stay here 3 days. I got my pack, I got my resupply, but the one thing I couldn't do, I couldn't book my huts for the next stage of this journey, and this is one of the only legs on the journey where you've got to book your huts. I couldn't book them too far in advance because I didn't know when that pack was going to arrive, and as soon as I got my hands on it, made sure everything was okay, I went in there to do my hut passes, and I couldn't get the combination of huts that I wanted. So as you can see, I've had a bit of a tidy up, a bit of a haircut and stuff while I spent an extra day in town. But there's good news as well. The YL Pass, by holding up a day, it looks like I've got the best chance of going over that section of the trail in the good weather. So I'm into Nelson now. I'm probably going to get into St Arnaud and be leaving around 11 o'clock. A 2-hut day to John Tait hut today. We'll show you as we go. See ya. Well, here we are. This is Lake Rotoiti, and that's where I'm heading, right in between those two ranges, up that valley. John Tait hut tonight, and then up over the top there somewhere tomorrow. And here's the famous jetty, if not the most, definitely one of the most photographed jetties in the country. People get their photo on the end of that, obviously looking up the valley here. But I'm going to go, there's another jetty at Lakehead Hut, and I suspect that one will be a little less busy. Let's get stepping again. Good to be back on trail. Well, beautiful little track beside Lake Rotoiti, and this is definitely a walking track, not a hiking track, and I suspect that's what it's going to be like all the way to Lakehead Hut, because there is another jetty there, and a lot of people would probably do this section of the walk and maybe get a water taxi back or something. I'm expecting this section from Lakehead up to John Tait hut, that'll get more into a tramping type trail, but certainly going to enjoy this while I've got it. Generally the track's been really good. There's only the odd little section like this with a bit of rock hopping and going over little streams. And this is the jetty. If you want to come into St Arnaud and get a water taxi, they can bring you into this little jetty and drop you off, and you can just walk back into the main township. And you can't see it unfortunately because the water's just a little bit too rippled, but under this jetty there's a lot of the big eels, and I'm not sure if it's the Maori name, but they call them tuna. Tuna to me is a big fish in the ocean, but anyway, that's what they're called. And over there, I'm not sure what that hut is. I think the hut I'm going to and where we're heading is definitely up in this valley, and we're going to find our way up that valley. In this mountain range here, that's where Angeli's hut is. You can Google Angeli's hut, it's absolutely beautiful. But we head more up to the left here and head towards Upper Travers hut, and halfway between here and Upper Travers, John Tait hut, which is where I'm aiming to stay tonight. Well, here we go, Lakehead Hut. The TA notes say 2 to 3 hours. It's taken me exactly 2.5 hours from St Arnaud to get to here. So we'll go and have a little look, but this is only a lunch stop, and then I'll keep moving. That's where we're heading, straight up that valley. You can start to see some thick cloud forming up there, and that's actually in the forecast late this afternoon, early evening, we might get some showers, possibly heavy. So hopefully I can get up and get in the hut before then. I have got a bed booked in the hut, Tait Hut, but there's also been rumours of people rocking up, spending their $20 for me with a TA discount to get the bed and walk into the hut, and the bed's a chocker. There's people sleeping on the floor and those who have actually paid ending up outside in their tent, but it is what it is. We'll go and suss it out when we get there. Well, here we go. This might look a little bit insignificant, but it is quite significant. I've just hit 2,000 kilometres on the trail, so a bit of milestone for me. That's 3 months on trail now, and that leaves me 1,039 kilometres to go. So, oh, there's someone coming past now. I see you at the hut. Yeah, so 2,000 Ks ticked off, and I said I'd have to think of a way of celebrating it. And I was thinking about what I said when I got to Hunter's Hut, and just paying respects to those two hunters that lost their life, those conservation workers. And I spoke a bit about my dad, because that's what he did for work. And I mentioned then, you know, he mentioned the biggest treat to him was that helicopter drop of the food, and he looked forward to the cans of condensed milk. Now, for me, I wasn't about to carry a can of condensed milk and then try and drink the whole thing here, because I couldn't drink it in one sitting. But I managed to find a little tube of condensed milk. So this is the spot. I'm going to have some straight condensed milk in honour of my father and all those dock workers who really lived a hard life, blazing and cutting all these trails, building these huts, culling out troublesome wildlife and invasive species, so we get to enjoy this. And if you want to honour it with me, go get a can of condensed milk out of your pantry and dip a tablespoon or a teaspoon in and have a mouthful and see what it's like. It's going to be pretty rich. Anyway, I'm going to savour the moment for a little bit until the sandflies get too much, and we'll push on. We'll get to this Tait Hut. See ya. So just a bit of reflection on 2,000 kilometres. How's my body? Physically, health-wise, mentally. Mentally, really good. Physically, really good. You might remember, if you've watched the whole series, I had a lot of left shin pain when I started this hike. I got nothing wrong with me at all. I got my trail legs. Cardio wise, it is what it is. I'd have to do running or something higher intensity exercise to get my cardio up, and I'm not about to start running on trail, but certainly I'm hitting those hills a lot easier. So really lucky. And you know, what am I missing? Is there anything I'm struggling with? It's been 3 months on trail. You know, at the beginning, all the logistics of the North Island and all those resupplies, and you know, your head's always in a bit of a spin when you start something new. And now it's sort of, you know, I'm on the trail. I know what I've got to do for my resupply, and South Island's far easier logistically, so that's all good. But certainly now I've settled into trail life, I'm definitely starting to really miss my family. You know, I want to get back in and get my boys down to the motocross track, and you know, our family, friends, and my wife. Would I change it? No, I needed to do this walk after what happened with the business and stuff, and you know, it was affecting my health. I wouldn't change this for anything, but certainly, you know, I've got that 6 to 8 weeks to go on trail if everything keeps going smoothly before I finish. But I am going to miss my family for this last third of the hike, definitely. Just thinking and looking back at who I've hiked with, we had Mike the Alaskan and Joe from England when I was going down 90 Mile Beach at the start. And then we came across Eric and Marika. They are from the Netherlands. Lovely people. And I know Eric and Marika, they're a bit behind me. And Joe from England and Mike the Alaskan, I won't catch them, they're miles ahead. And then after that, we got through that Radia forest. And born in South Africa, now living in Germany, I came across Nicola the Navigator. Hiked with her for quite a while. and then her feet gave out and she took a big rest but jumped miles ahead on the trail. So she is still on trail but a long way ahead now. But shout out to any of these people who are watching. And then there was the big one. When I came across this tiny little lady, and you don't judge a book by the cover, and she had a tent that more resembled a leaky cocoon. And I thought, how on earth is she doing it? And that's a Super Kiwi. Go Super Kiwi. And she's still going strong. And it was so good. Like, she had to push ahead. As I said, we just interviewed her recently. She had a tighter deadline than me. But she came back, and I'm so honoured to have done the Richmond Ranges with her. What a lovely, lovely hiking partner. And what a great inspiration for young ladies like that to go out and do things you don't think you can do. She's just a perfect role model. Then I came across the crazy Aussie, Colin. And poor old Colin, he turned 69 when I was in Narrawahia with him. So I found out and I went out, and the best I could do, I went to the supermarket, no candles in Narrawahia. I went to get him a cake, no cakes in the supermarket in Narrawahia. But I managed to find a 6-pack of stale muffins or cupcakes. So poor old Colin, mate, you celebrated your 69 with me in Narrawahia with stale cupcakes, but you're 70 this year, and we live down the road from each other. We're not that far apart in Australia, so sing out for that 70th, mate, and maybe we hook up and I'll buy you a proper cake. I'll go cheesecake shop and I'll get you a proper one for your 70th. And then we come across probably the person I've hiked the longest distance with, that crazy Englishman Tim. And Timmy's a day ahead of me. I saw him in the books, but Tim and I have hiked a long way together. And from Tamaranui, when I was with Tim, we bumped into Johnny and Viv. Great couple. They're doing their own YouTube as well. And I know a lot of people watch both of us, but shout out to them. They got to do this section that I'm on now. They live in St Arnaud, and they got to do it with their kids and their kids' partners, which was really nice. I was so happy for them that they managed to time it and get down here to do that with their kids. So that's a special moment for them, real good. And then that magic moment when I finished the North Island, and if you've watched it all, I did break down there because that was just too many things at once, you know. That southern terminus of the Te Araroas was where I found out about the Te Araroa Trail. Technically that was my finish to the North Island, because I had to skip the Te Araroas because of bad weather and come back and do them. It was Christmas Day when I walked out, and I flew out of Australia on the 4th of October, and I hadn't seen my wife or kids since then, and there they were standing there, the first time I'd seen them since 4th of October. So that'll be a special place and a special moment for the rest of my life. I'll never forget that day. And then I started the South Island, Queen Charlotte Sound, and so cool, you know. I finished university 1999, and two of the guys I went through university with, Gareth, or we call him Speedy, and Matt, joining me for Queen Charlotte. It was just cool to, you know, have your mates join you when they could like that, and the friendly banter along the way. And Richmond Ranges is ticked off now, Te Araroas is ticked off, arguably two of the hardest sections on the trail, and I've only got a third to go. So that's my quick reflection, and shout out to all my family and friends, people who have supported me along the way. I don't want to mention them because I might forget someone, and I'd be embarrassed if I did that, but so many people have supported me along the way. And then there's you guys, the viewers, people who have subscribed to this channel. I'm amazed like how many people have subscribed. I don't know where you all came from, but obviously enjoying it. I'm really glad. I hope I motivate some of you guys to get out and do something like this, but I'll stop rambling on there. I'm going to get to this next hut, and let's go and get this finished. See ya. And there's always that one you forget. How could I forget him? Mick from Perth, Australia. Man, he was a great guy to hike with. And you might recall he had a bit of a fall. He's another one about to turn 70, but he blew his knee. And it was so sad. Mick's, he's sleeping okay. Sometimes he has to take painkillers to get through the night, but he's waiting for his choice of surgeon, and his knee replacement will happen. For those who remember Mick, that happened on Bream Head. He goes in to have his knee replaced after his fall. It'll be March or April sometime. So if you're watching, Mick, good luck, mate. I hope that surgery goes well. I hope that pain you got in your knee, I hope it subsides, and those doctors do a good job. You're a good bloke, and I really wish you were here with us, but things happen, man. But we think about you quite often. See you, bye. It's lucky we ain't here in winter, and believe it or not, the hut I'm going to stay in, or camp outside, it's just going to appear around this corner. I've made it here in 4 hours, the sign said 5, and this hut's actually in the avalanche zone, but it's not winter, so I don't have to stress about that, obviously. It just goes to show. I'll just walk past these trees here and we'll see the hut. So all in all, 2 hut day, not a lot of climbing, but a good way to get back into it after 3 days of rest. The first day back after a rest like that's always a struggle. And there's the hut just through the trees over there. I'll go and decide whether I tent or go in that hut. Let's see.